shouldn't have gotten involved with that case. With that girl. Pursuing her was the right thing to do. But if I hadn't involved myself with her, I'd still have a career. When did it begin? I think it was April of 1989. The peak of my career as an investigative journalist. That's when I heard about a murder at the local high school. The police had no leads. I decided to investigate it myself. I tried to be a hero. And that was the worst mistake of my life. My life was a living hell for about a year, while the trial was still fresh in people's minds. Eventually, the hatred subsided, but it never truly died. There was always someone who recognized me, no matter how much I tried to change my appearance. Finding employment was nearly impossible. I drifted between part-time jobs and spent my free time drinking to ease the pain of becoming the national punching bag. It was around this point in time that I met my future wife. I still don't understand what she saw in me. I was an absolute wreck, not to mention the laughingstock of the entire country. But as soon as we met, she wanted to spend every waking moment with me. She wouldn't let me out of her sight, and got possessive if another woman so much as looked at me. I quickly came to depend on her for everything. It wasn't long before I couldn't live without her. I certainly wasn't in any state to take care of myself. I was like an adult-sized baby, helpless and vulnerable. Who knows? Maybe that's what she was attracted to. Maybe she just wanted to experience the sensation of owning a person. Maybe she wanted to keep a human pet. Maybe all she wanted was someone who she could emotionally depend on. Even after all these years, I don't understand why anyone would waste their time with a man like me. But none of that mattered. Despite all my flaws, she accepted me. And that's all I needed. We got married about 6 months after meeting each other. My wife died while giving birth to our only child. I still don't know how I possibly found the strength to keep going after I lost her. I was completely dependent on her for absolutely everything. I could barely take care of myself, much less a baby. Somehow, I managed to make it through those years. But even after all this time, I'm still a deadbeat drunk who can't hold down a job. It was very difficult to love my own infant daughter, knowing that my wife was dead because of her. I'm pretty sure I was a horrible father. She practically had to raise herself, and I never tried to spend much time with her or learn about her interests. Even now, I don't think I know very much about her. I don't even know what kind of person she's turned into. I don't even know what her everyday life is like. I know that she spends all of her time on her computer.
You were the clock that was ticking in my home. Changed my state of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Love so hard to find.
we got him.
She bought it herself. She seems to have a lot of money for someone her age. I'm afraid to ask where it comes from. Sometimes she comes home with blood on her clothing. I can't tell if it's her blood or someone else's blood. I try to stay out of her business. It's partially out of respect for her privacy, but it's mostly out of fear. That way, at least you'll know why your father disappeared so suddenly. I only hope that she doesn't try to get revenge on me by harming you. I don't know when I'll be back. I don't know if I'll be back. I don't know if she's willing to cross oceans to hunt her prey. If she is, I'll try to lure her into a trap, try to expose her true nature in front of the police. It's my only hope. I know you can take care of yourself. If I had more time, there's so many things I'd say to you, but I can't. Not now. Stay safe. I love you.
Bruh.
Oh, darling, you're finally awake.
What?
Watching you sleep is always fun, but it gets a bit old after 6 hours, you know?
What's happening? Where am I?
We're in my basement, darling. My mom went through a lot of trouble to get this basement added to our home.
What are you talking about? Huh? What is this? Am I tied to a chair?
That's right, darling. That's the very same chair that my mother built for my father while she was keeping him here. And now you get to sit there too. Isn't that romantic?
Aren't you that girl's been on the TV lately? What was it? Aishi-san?
Oh, you don't need to be so formal, darling. You can use my first name, you know.
Oh, God. It's not true, is it? All those things the journalist said?
I said, use my first name, darling.
I'm sorry. I don't know you well enough to...
Say
Psych!
my name.
Ryoba! Ryoba! What?
Oh, darling, I've been waiting so long to hear you say that. I'm so glad that I caught it on tape.
What do you want from me? Am I your next victim?
Victim? Of course not, darling. You're the one I was protecting this whole time.
Protecting? You mean all those girls at school?
That's right, darling. They were threatening our love. I had to get rid of them all.
Love? But we've never even spoken to each other before.
I know, darling. It's so exciting to talk to you for the first time. I can't wait to have all of our firsts. Our first date, our first meal together, our first kiss, our first...
Ryoba-chan, if you love someone, you shouldn't kidnap them and tie them to a chair.
Well, how else am I supposed to make sure that you don't try to run away, darling?
Please. Please. Let me go. I promise I won't tell the police.
Sorry, darling. You're not allowed out of that chair until I'm 100% sure that you'll never try to leave me. From this day forward, I'm never going to let you out of my sight. We'll be together forever.
Forever?
That's right. Oh, looks like it's time to change the tape. One moment, darling. Oh, I'm sorry, darling. Did I scare you?
I didn't hear you come in.
After all these years, you still can't tell when I'm standing behind you? I thought you would have been able to tell by now, darling.
Well, you do make a career at not being seen.
What were you doing down here, darling? Oh, are those our old tapes? The ones we made back in the 80s? Did you get a bit nostalgic for the good old days?
Well, I suppose you could say that.
You know, I had a nostalgic moment today too, darling. I saw someone who I hadn't seen in decades. And by that, I mean this is the first time he's seen me in decades.
Who are you talking about?
Oh my! Are you jealous, darling? Are you worried that someone is going to steal your beloved wife away?
That's actually the last thing I worry about.
Oh, darling, that's so romantic.
Right. So who did you see today?
I'll tell you all about it on the way to the airport, darling.
Wait! Airport?
That's right, darling. Pack your bags. We're going to America.
We can't do that! What about our jobs?
Don't worry, darling. I've already called the boss and informed him that we need to take a little trip. He was very understanding.
How long will we be gone for?
I'm not sure, darling. It all depends on how fast I track him down.
What about our daughter? Tomorrow is the first day of high school.
If our daughter is anything like her mother, she'll have absolutely no problems whatsoever taking care of herself. Oh, I hope she meets someone special. It would be so nice if she's gotten a boyfriend by the time we get back.
I hope not.
What was that, darling?
Nothing, sweetie.
Enough dawdling, darling. We have to get going.
Shouldn't I pick up the tapes? They're scattered everywhere.
Don't bother, darling.
What if our daughter finds them?
You know, there's a part of me that hopes she does.
Huh? It's on. Must have hit record.